Christ is King. It's Holy Saturday. I'm here waiting hours early for Easter Vigil. Praise be to God. I'll be praying for you tonight. Hopefully you'll be praying for me too. But while we're waiting, I thought I would read with you from the Passio Christi, the Holy Saturday, the greatest Sabbath. So I thought we could read this together. Maybe I'll put a link to it. I don't know if I'll do it right today, but at some point we'll put a link to it. Anyway, Joe McLean here. I'm the host of a Catholic Hack, a Catholic Take. Catholic Hack's my old days. And I thought today, on this Holy Saturday, we could spend a little time together in preparation. Point 1, the tomb. Again, Passio Christi. That was a great Sabbath. Never had there been a greater. The first Sabbath day was great when God rested after his work of creation. But greater was that on which he rested after his work of redemption. All was still, silent, hushed for God. With that mortal body which he took as an instrument for our salvation, was resting in the tomb. The humiliation is all over now. Jesus had been buried as a rich man, as a king. The linen he was wrapped in was of the finest. The spices were costly. The tomb was not that of a poor man, for again there was a scripture to be fulfilled. He made his grave with the rich. Not long will his body remain there, but long enough to leave its impression with all the wounds upon the winding sheet, rendering it of priceless value. Let me go to the sepulchre today and see this that has come to pass, which the Lord hath showed to me. I see the soldiers from the chief priests, with Pilate's permission, have placed on guard to prevent any attempt to steal the body. I see the great stone rolled up against the entrance and sealed, so that no one may tamper with it. But I cannot stay outside. My place is within, with the adoring angels. Yea, I may approach even nearer than they, for the body of my Lord lying there on the cold, hard rock speak to me in a way it cannot speak to them. As I kneel in adoration, it seems to draw me to it, till I feel that it is mine, and mine only. The sepulchre is my heart, which once was intended by me for no one but myself. Hard it was as the rock, and cold as the stone slab. But all is changed since he said, "My child, give me thy heart." I went then and begged the body of Jesus. And when, by my love and contrition and gratitude, I had taken it down from the cross, I brought all the sweetest and costliest spices, hoping by my sacrifice to make my heart a little less unworthy to receive him. But when the preparations were all finished, they seemed so inadequate that I cried out, "Lord, I am not worthy that thou shouldest come." But nevertheless, he came, saying, "My delights are to be with the children of men." It was to make it possible for me to come to you that I suffered and died. You make up to me for all I suffered when you take me at my word and receive me into your heart. O my Jesus, make me like the winding sheet when I receive thee in Holy Communion. May I hold thee so close that there is room for nothing between us, so close that the impress of thyself is left upon me. As I linger at the tomb today, let me ask myself, what is the result of my communions? Is the impression of Jesus crucified so imprinted upon my heart that there is an ever-increasing likeness in me of him or to him? Can others recognize the touch of the body of Jesus by humility, my spirit of mortification and self-sacrifice, my gentleness, my charity? It is because I have touched the body of his Son that God sets such an infinite value upon me. I am one of his relics, and on the day when he looks over his special possessions, all those who have been in any way identified with Jesus will find a place amongst them, and he will spare them as a man spareth his son that serveth him. But there is yet another thought for me before I leave the Holy Sepulchre. In that sacred body stretched on the rock, the natural life is no more, only the divine life is there. It is a picture of what my life ought to be, a tomb where I, its inhabitant, lie dead, dead to sin, dead to my old nature, but a tomb where God lives and reigns and where I am alive unto God. Is such a supernatural life possible? Yes, but it can only be attained by the interior silence, peace, and recollection which the tomb of Jesus teaches me. I'm reading from Passio Christi, Meditations for Lent. This is the Holy Saturday, the greatest of the Sabbath. Now we're on point 2. First point was the tomb. Second point is limbo. Mac, God bless you too, brother. While the sacred body joined to the divinity is resting in the tomb, while the precious blood, wherever it is spilt, is being carefully guarded by adoring angels. For it, too, is joined to the divinity. The holy soul of Jesus, also joined to the divinity, is full of life and activity. He descended into hell, that is, into limbo, the abode of the just, to visit the souls for whom his own human soul was yearning, because they had been faithful to the promise of his coming, because they had been redeemed by his blood and saved by its merits, even before it was shed. There, since the arrival of Abel, some 4,000 years ago, all those who died according to faith, not having received the promises, but beholding them afar off and saluting them, had, since their purgatory, been waiting. They had been waiting for the desired of all nations to come, waiting for the great sacrifice to which all through their lives they had looked forward, and which was to open to them the gates of the kingdom of heaven. Constantly they had been cheered by the arrival of their brethren, each one bringing news of what was going on earth. Gradually, the prophecies of the Messiah had been growing less dim and more detailed since the days of Abraham, Isaac, Moses, Job, Elias had entered the limbo. And during the last 30 years, they had heard of prophecies being fulfilled. Simeon and Anna had been able to tell them that the child was born, the son given. The flock of baby martyrs had been brought unspeakably joy into limbo, for their flight straight from earth into Abraham's bosom without any sojourn in purgatory was a proof that the little child was already leading. Since then, these prisoners of hope had heard many stories of the wonderful child who lived in Nazareth, and they would remember that he was to be called Wonderful. It was a great day for them when Saint Joseph came among them. His silent tongue was unloosed when he got to Limbo, and he had so much to tell of Jesus and Mary that heaven's gates seemed already opening. His listeners almost forgot that they were in limbo. Later on, John the Baptist told them of the Lamb of God who taketh away the sins of the world, of his baptism, and of the voice from heaven, of his public ministry just begun. And then, when expectation was at its height, the beautiful soul of the God-man himself appeared, filling all Limbo with such a flood of light that it was changed at once into paradise. Happy souls they were with Jesus at the last. Their banishment was over. Eye hath not seen, O God, besides thee, what things thou hast prepared for those who wait for thee. Only he knows how he made up to these just ones for all their weary time of waiting, how he rendered to these prisoners of hope double for all they had suffered. St. Peter tells us that he preached to those spirits in prison, and we may well believe that beginning at Moses and all the prophets, he expounded to them in all the scriptures the things that were concerning him, expounding to the prophets themselves their own prophecies and showing them by the story of his life and death how every jot and tittle had been fulfilled. While they were listening, another soul joined the blessed company, the first to be welcomed by Jesus himself. Dismas, the patient thief, was with Jesus in paradise. That was a great Sabbath day, great for the holy souls, for it never ended and it never will. As I meditate about it, my thoughts cannot but turn again to my communions, to my great days, to the moments when I too am with Jesus and receive the pledge of my immortality. I'm reading from Passio Christi. This is a book my wife had. I'm just like finding it for the first time ever, really. And I'm reading the section on the Holy Saturday, the greatest of Sabbaths. Point one was the tomb. Point one was the tomb. Point two was Limbo, and now point three is the consolatrix afflictiorum. Probably said that wrong, but let's read it anyway. Alexandria Hall, praise be to God, glad you're here. Happy, I'm going to be the first to say Happy Easter, even though it's technically not Easter, but I'm just going to say it now anyway. Blessed are they that mourn, for they shall be comforted. Why has Saturday been specially dedicated to Mary? Surely because of her work on that great Sabbath day when she proved herself to be the consolatrix of afflictiorum. She was the chief mourner, and yet she mourned less than any, for in spirit she was with her Son in paradise. And she alone had faith to believe that on the third day his body would rise again from the tomb. By her never-failing faith, courage, and love, the Blessed Mother is able to cheer all that come to her. To whom can they go for consolation, if not to his own mother? There is John, who craves to hear from her own lips that she has really taken him for her son. Magdalene, who is heartbroken and feels that she must keep close to the mother who shared every thought and feeling with him whom she has lost. Peter, who cannot rest till he has told the mother all about his denial of her son. All the others who long to confess their cowardice to someone, Joseph and Nicodemus, Longinus and the centurion, Veronica, Simeon, Cyrenian, and many others, who, anxious to declare themselves on the side of the crucified, take the quickest and the surest way. They go to Mary. And so they keep coming, to unburden themselves, to get her pardon, to be assured from her own lips that they have her sons, to gain strength and consolation. And in return, they tell her little details of all that he did and said and suffered, details which she may not know, and if she does, she will not interrupt, for she loves to hear them all again. And they bring her treasures, which they know she will be glad to have: the seamless robe, Veronica's veil, the cloth with which he was blindfolded, the reed that he held in his hands, perhaps a thorn from the crown or a thong from the scourges, even the water in which his wounds were washed. Everything is precious, and every moment they spend with her deepens their love for him. How could it be otherwise? Behold your mother. It was he himself who said it. O Mary, sweetest mother, behold all your children today. That great family for which your Son laid down his life, plead for them on this last day of Lent. Bring back those who are still wandering, that they too may be found with Jesus tomorrow. And let me come too, my mother, and spend this last day with you. It will be a comfort to me to tell you of all my shortcomings. I have not been all to your Son that I meant to be when he said to me, behold, we go up. And even if I have not actually denied or betrayed him, still I can see so many things that I might have done to give him pleasure which I have not done. And in spite of it all, he has been so good to me. I should like to tell you of all that he has said and done and suffered for me, of the difficulties which seemed insurmountable, I'm reading, boys, that he has helped me through, of the heavy crosses that he has borne with me, of the peace he has given me in the midst of storms, of the new light he has thrown upon suffering. I know you love to hear all these things, my mother. You never weary of them, and to tell them increases my love both for you and for him. And cannot I bring you something today which will remind you of your Son? I know how you must have loved Veronica's veil, and how touched you must have been by the likeness. Oh, may I, too, be able to touch your heart, because you can see in mine some likeness to your Son. colloquy with Mary, with whom I am waiting till the glad Easter dawns, when I shall be once more with Jesus. Resolution, to let nothing distract me from Jesus and Mary today. Spiritual bouquet, consolatrix afflictiorum, ora pro nobis. I have never read this before. Have you? Let me know in the comments. Gregory, God bless you and God love you, my friend. It is Holy Saturday. Yeah, unspeakable joy in the midst of unspeakable sadness. Passio Christi, my wife, had this book. I have no idea where she got it. Laudamus Press. Laudamus Press. I don't even, she just had this. I just saw this yesterday. So if you read it, let me know. But otherwise, getting ready for Easter Vigil. It's one of my sons right there. And over there's our chapel, Regina Caeli, over here in Houston, Texas. Fraternity of St. Peter. Going to go to the Easter Vigil. Were you guys going to Easter Vigil? Let me know in the comment box. Otherwise, hey, I'm going to be the first to say Happy Easter. It's not really Easter, but Happy Easter. God love you and God bless you. Mac and I'm blind. I'm old and blind. I can't see. Mac, Susanna, Gregory, Alexandria, God love you all. Thank you for hanging out with me for a few minutes tonight. And I'll be praying for you. Please pray for me. And Viva Cristo Rey, Christ is risen. Truly he is risen. God love you from the Netherlands. How cool is that? From the Netherlands. Praise be to God. God love you all and have a great